I did something rather odd. When I'd sold the novel to the publishers, even before it was published, I went ahead and started a screenplay because I just knew this, of all my books, could make a good film. Lots of offers came in and they were never the right people.
Lenny and I were looking for material to work on together, and we were kind of scouring the best novels, and Room kept popping up.
I read it in one sitting, really, 1 or 2 sittings, and I was immediately aware that I wanted to make it as a film. So I wrote Emma this long letter saying, this is what I feel about your book and this is what I would like to do with it.
I just felt he completely understood the book and everything that I meant to put in it. So I knew that the book would be safe in his hands and that he'd make a great film of it.
Just TV.
You're getting it.
Room is such a kind of perspective-driven novel, and so a lot of my challenges were around how to preserve the boy's point of view without turning this into some sort of piece of magic realism.
A world like this, see, and we're on the inside, and Mouse is on the outside.
In outer space?
No, in the world. It's much closer than outer space.
Both of us had to be protective of the novel in the right way, of its essence and its truthfulness and its beauty.
It's my first film of any of my books, and it's the first screenplay of mine that's actually making it to the screen. So the magic of seeing things I just imagined brought to life, it's just such a thrill.
We spent a long time looking for our Jack, and Jacob Tremblay stood out from early taped readings that I got sent. That's lovely that he's like that watching you. I would do exactly that, Jake. Jake is very unique, I think, and really quite amazing.
Good morning, lamp. Good morning, plant. Good morning, egg snake. My character is a little boy that was born in a room. He lived in a room until he was 5. And one day his mom wanted to put him out of the room, but he didn't want to. But when he's out of the room, he's very shy and he's very scared of everything. Like this. We're not exactly like that.
We've been extremely lucky with Jacob. He's 8 years old, playing 5, but he's also an experienced actor. He's done this before, so he's not coming to it for the first time.
Sometimes these pins stab me.
I know.
But
try not to.
I deal with it.
He's incredibly bright and great concentration, but he's still a kid. He's still a boy. He's still full of life and fun and mischief.
Here, on 3, 1, 2, 3, okay.
Don't make a funny face.
His mom said, do you have any questions for Brie? And he was like, yeah, I have 2, actually. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite animal? And and do you like Star Wars? There was 3 questions. And that was the beginning of it.
You're full of it. I don't like it one bit.
Brie helps me get in soft mode. Soft mode. When I need to be serious, she helps me be serious. All people are nice people because they help me be serious.
When I read the book, I had really strong images kind of stuck with me and a kind of feeling and a sense of what the tone should be, which is where I usually start, and just a kind of an emotional register that the film would be in.
I've always been a little bit fascinated by some of the true stories that were coming out around the time the novel was coming out as well, but it really didn't occur to me that it would work in a visual medium.
You spend 40, 50 minutes, the first half of the film will be in a room. I've never done anything quite like that.
Ethan Tobin, the designer of the film, and Danny Cohen, the DP, we worked for a long time and in great detail, particularly on the room. How realistic versus how kind of fantastical do you make it? I was pretty clear from the beginning that I wanted it to feel very truthful and realistic.
More so than any film I've ever worked on, the inspiration for the design process on this came from research. I found myself pulling obvious references like the Fitzel dungeon, J.C. Dugard's residence, Ariel Castro's home, as well as the incredibly small apartments in Hong Kong and how people manage to live in tiny spaces. So it became sort of a meditation on what to do in a tiny space and how people live with limited resources.
Why don't you make a UFO out of this?
So we sort of started with a very broad canvas, and it became a bit of a creative experiment of what we would do ourselves if we were stuck in a small environment with a child.